Hey, Jack here, what's up? And in this video, I would like to talk about what Jarvis can do and what Jarvis can't do. Now, if you decide to subscribe to Jarvis, the first thing I would like you to understand is that Jarvis is never, ever a tool that will help you generate copies afresh. And you can't just look at Jarvis and say, give me the contents and I don't care what you come up. And eventually I'll just use the content generated by Jarvis and publish it accordingly. Now, this is definitely not what Jarvis can do, because I just want to showcase an article which I wrote yesterday. Today is 23rd of September. I wrote this article on 22nd September. And this is about how to build a super dream team, as you can see on my screen. Now, I would like to actually go through this example to explain why it is dangerous and risky to ask Jarvis to generate content without you doing the check. Now, here is one thing. I've actually asked Jarvis to come up with most of the contents. It's only a particular part whereby I said if you are a soccer fan, okay, I'm sure whether you know what is soccer. Soccer is the English football. It's not the American football. It's not the Aussie football. It's English football. Okay, so you remember Iceland run at 2016 UEFA European Championship. Now this happened 5 years ago. Iceland was a very small country in the world. He had never before this competition qualified for this European Championship competition, which is held once every 4 years. Okay, so that is a very amazing story. So I said this is one of the most incredible stories in the sports history over the last decade. Now, this sentence was actually made by me, not by Jarvis, because this is really what the story of Iceland about. Now, I want you to pay attention to these 4 bullet points. Now, let me just go through them and see what they are. Iceland is in the UEFA Championship for the very first time in history. Iceland came over the Netherlands. So the story was that before Iceland qualified for the European Championship, you had to play certain games, what we call the qualifying rounds. And for some reason, Iceland's last match was with the Netherlands. And Netherlands is a very strong team. However, somehow Iceland beat the Netherlands, and Netherlands couldn't qualify for the competition, but Iceland could. So this is the first fact. Second thing is that the teams were assigned into various groups. So Iceland was placed in Group F. So what happened was that in Group F, Iceland had to play 3 matches. So they first of all drew Portugal, and then they had another draw with Hungary. And Hungary and Portugal are stronger team than Iceland. And then in the final match, actually not Australia but Austria. So I make a mistake here. So I self-correct instantly here, Austria. Okay, so I need to change that. Now, so the last match, Iceland actually beat Austria by 2-1. And 3 teams, Portugal, Hungary, and Austria, are stronger than Iceland, by the way. So I said if that wasn't enough to persuade you how great Iceland UEFA Championship run was, they faced England, who ranked number 11 in Europe, and of course, third in Europe and 11 in FIFA ranking, which is the world ranking. They actually beat England 2-1 in the competition, but finally in the quarterfinal, Iceland lost 2-5 to France. That ended the miracles of Iceland in this championship. Now, I want you to pay attention to these 4 bullet points. Do you believe Jarvis was able to come up with these points? I don't think so. So this is the reason why the purpose of this video is to showcase what is the limitation of Jarvis. Now you can come up with your own facts. You can ask Jarvis to do editing. You can ask Jarvis to improve the content. No problem. This is what you use Jarvis for. The problem, however, is that when it comes to these facts, you, as the owner of the article, will become responsible for generating the facts and making sure that the facts are correct. This is what we call in copywriting fact checking. Okay, so I want you to realize this is very important. Now, of course, at the end of the day, if I don't like the paragraph, or if I find that my writing is not sexy, not easy to read, I can actually ask Jarvis to do something called, hey, explain to the fifth grader, or actually rephrase the sentence. Okay, so this is what I did. Now, when it comes to the facts checking, I can actually ask Jarvis to explain this to a fifth grader, because sometimes the term, if you are not soccer fans, you may find that it is hard to understand that. Now, the very important point is this, however. So when he explains to the fifth grader, Jarvis gave me this sentence: Iceland is great at soccer. Iceland was ranked 11th in the world and England was ranked 3rd. When Iceland faced England, they lost. They were losing 2-0, but they scored 2 goals to go into the quarterfinals against France. Now, this is something you need to pay attention to. I have done this last night. I realized that even you ask Jarvis to simplify the paragraphs, you are still responsible for the fact checking. Do you see the problem what Jarvis has given you? Iceland is great at soccer. In the sense that in terms of the performance in 2016 European Championship, it was great because it came as a surprise. Okay, Iceland was ranked 11th in the world. The sentence actually said that England ranked 11th in the world. Okay, England ranked number 3 in Europe but 11th in the world. So you see what Jarvis has done? He's misplaced the facts so that it becomes inaccurate. So this is why I said, do not just look at Jarvis. Hey, Jarvis, can you simplify the paragraph for me, explain to a fifth grader, or just let Jarvis do the job, and you don't go back and proofread, you don't go back to actually do the fact checking, and you see that Jarvis actually gave you something not accurate. Okay, so they were losing 2-0, 2-0, but they scored 2 goals to go into the quarterfinal. Is that true? So the match, actually the score is 1-2. England, first of all, scored a goal. However, in the 6th minute and the 18 minutes, Iceland actually scored 2 goals, and the final score is 1-2. England won, Iceland 2. So you see, Jarvis actually gave you the wrong information. Not to say it's wrong, it's just that when Jarvis does what we call the simplification, okay, the contents becomes inaccurate. It is very important for you to make sure that the content is correct. So I cannot take this. I can actually ask Jarvis to try again and see what comes up. So let's see. Iceland is in the quarterfinals of UEFA Championship. Yes, this is true. They beat England and France got them out. However, the problem is that this sentence is just too simple. I want Jarvis to actually expand this. So sometimes when I'm looking at the fifth grader, I realize that it is useful in some cases, especially when you're writing very technical contents. However, in some other cases, I will find that it actually rephrase a sentence or rephrase a paragraph is actually more, I would say, more effective. So you can see here. So that wasn't enough to persuade you how amazing Iceland UEFA Championship run was. So it's a question mark. It's a question. They went up against England, who ranked number 3rd in UEFA and 11th in the FIFA ranking, and had never failed to advance past the group stage since 1990, which is the accurate statement. Iceland scored 2 goals in 18 minutes to advance straight in the quarterfinals against France. Well, to some extent, that's true. Okay, I can take it. So when it comes to whether you want to use explain to the fifth grader and let's say in this case rephrase, you really have to make a judgment call. So I would say that in either case, test it out, see what works for you. However, important point, like I said in this video, is once again, Jarvis is not able to replace you by giving you all the contents, and you do not, and I will repeat, you do not care whether the contents are accurate. Most of the time, Jarvis will do a fantastic job when it generates contents. However, when it comes to history, certain facts, you are responsible to do the fact checking, making sure that what you have stated on this draft although this draft came from Jarvis, you need to make sure that the facts are accurate. So please remember, do fact checking. It is very important. So I just want to actually highlight this to you because a lot of people actually expect Jarvis can do the job and replace other copywriters. And I said, as a subscriber of Jarvis, I am responsible for the final editing. I am responsible for proofreading. And most importantly, once again, for the purpose of this video, I'm responsible to ensure that the facts and information stated in the article remains accurate. I hope it helps. If you like what I share, please comment below and what is the one biggest takeaway you have. And if you are considering using Jarvis as a copywriting AI tool, you can actually look at the link on my description and you want to have a free trial. I look forward to welcoming you one day as the actual Jarvis user. And most importantly, subscribe to my channel and you will be able to see other Jarvis videos that I've done so that you have a better idea of what Jarvis can do and how it can improve your effectiveness. Especially if you're a copywriter, if you are using your pen, your keyboard to write, now you know that you can actually execute your copywriting delivery more effectively by knowing how to use this AI tool. It has been with me, it has been serving me very well over the last 6 weeks, and I love that. I couldn't actually finish anything without asking Jarvis to do its job. Okay, so with that, Wong here signing off, and I look forward to seeing you in another video. And most importantly, remember to subscribe to my channel so that you can get to see all Jarvis videos that I have been creating for all of you. Cheers, and bye for now.